Nice year there in the Annie's Lane, do we?
2022 must be nice.
Vintage. Lovely.
Look, mate, from what I pay for wine, 2022 is a vintage and a half. My cellar, which is under the stairs, in about 3 cardboard boxes. 2024 to 2022.
Climate controlled cardboard box.
Yeah, cardboard box under the stairs.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's me. All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
A few moments later.
You didn't set the timer. It's weird. I thought you did. I love how I didn't just get up and do that myself. Lead singer syndrome. Stick your crutch in my face.
Episode 9, Mighty Fine.
How howdy hey.
How howdy hey.
Episode 9, Mighty Fine. Was
Episode 9, Mighty
Was
Fine.
that off the cuff or prepared?
Just before when I said I just got to get in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
That's just the first thing
that came to you.
Yeah, that's why I shouldn't be doing a podcast.
That sort of creative genius
and
just
on that
came
note,
to you.
this will be our final episode of Skip the Beat, a podcast which was loosely based on music. My name is Matt. Welcome back. Hope you've had a wonderful week. Thanks for coming back and checking us out. If you're here for the first time, this is episode 9. There is a back catalogue which you can check out if you would like. But I'm joined each week with the other half of the podcast, Katie.
Hello, good to be here. This is Skip the Beat, a podcast loosely based on music.
Yes, we sometimes talk about music.
We do.
Yeah.
Here and there.
Most of the time talk about music. Now, we've had a big week.
We have.
Now, before we get into what's been happening, is there anything we need to address from the previous...
From last week's episode. I think there might be a couple of apologies.
Is it a problem that each week we have to get into this routine of apologising for things? I think we should ditch it and just... It is what it is. And you know what?
It's actually... I was just about to say, it's not so much an apology I'm just bringing a bit of a fact check.
Okay.
Really? Yeah,
Yep.
A couple of things, just a bit of a fact check. A correction, if you will, not necessarily an apology. One correction from me, I talked about Black or White coming out in 1990, but it was in fact 1991, and that was my excuse for getting the year of Thriller wrong. I didn't think enough about when that song came out. So I was a year off there, so deduct a point because I've added in my own fact, which was in fact incorrect, into your music quiz.
So what did that take you back to, 1 or 2?
Yeah, I think it was 1. I think I also incorrectly told everyone I got 3 points in the quiz, but I did only get 2 points. So apologies for that.
It was like a half or something, wasn't there?
No, I think the half was included in the one that I eventually got the 1 point for.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a difficult quiz for me, but very fun.
Okay.
And then the other just slight correction was you were very, very excited to tell everyone that David Attenborough was 99, and unfortunately we found out during the edit that he's only 98. So it's really not that impressive what he looks like at 98.
Look,
Yeah.
in your 99th year of life,
A lot happens.
turning 98. I mean, so he should be there.
Yeah, you should.
No excuses for another year.
That's right. That's right. So just a couple of little fact checks there. Did you have something you'd like to bring?
The only thing I need to apologise is for last week's pun of the week being by far and most clearly the shittest pun of the week there has been to date. And tonight I've got a little note here for music pun. It's down the board a little bit. I really hope that I can rectify and come back.
We're going to have a little redemption moment,
I
are we?
hope so. It's actually been one tonight. The reason I had to take note before was it's been one that's come in as a little suggestion.
Oh, okay.
So we'll get to that down the track after we
Okay.
talk about future things.
Pop down the whiteboard a bit more.
Yes. So yeah, I do need to apologise for that. But also at the same time, I'm going to jump into the feedback section because while I was thinking it was one of the shittest jokes I've ever said, I got 2 bits of feedback. And Barb from the US said, look, I got the pun. I'm an Elvis fan. So she liked it.
Yeah.
Muir, I'm going to take this as a positive thing. She said, she messaged me saying, I got it.
Well, there you go.
So she got it.
Yeah.
So I'm taking that as a positive. Not
Yeah,
like I
I'm-
got it and it was terrible. Just I got it and yeah.
Muir's just hanging on by a thread with pun of the
I've
week.
still got
so
her. She's fine.
yeah, I'd have to say my sister Anna also got it and said,
Now I'm in big trouble if Annie didn't like it.
I know, and I said that exact thing to Anna. I said, your feedback on Matt's puns cannot be trusted because you've got 100% strike rate with Annie, and she's one of the only living
she give a-
people. I don't know if she made
Did
a
she go,
noise,
"Oh"?
but she certainly always appreciates
Okay.
that segment and anything that you bring in the world of pun. You do have a very high strike rate with her for reasons unknown to me, but it's good. Takes all kinds, doesn't
She was
it?
the only one. Do you remember when we were down in Melbourne and I had to call her? I think I called her. And we were walking. It's when we were down for my Bucks. So when we were down there for the Lions
Yes,
weekend.
yep. I
And
remember
we're
the
walking
weekend.
through Melbourne and there was the shop called Reader's Feast. Do you remember that?
I don't remember you calling.
hated my joke. I said, we were walking past. I said, I guess that's where she goes before she starts to digest. And again, I had to explain, did not grow up with your grandparents having Reader's Digest.
Yeah.
And just, as soon as I told Anna, I didn't have to explain anything. She just got it. She laughed and said,
Yeah.
that's brilliant.
I think that's funny today. Maybe I've evolved with you a little bit
Just
somehow.
saying. Maybe I've been matured.
I had Reader's Digest around every corner when I grew up.
Anyway, that's not Music Pun of the Week, everyone.
It's not.
not.
So that was any more feedback?
No, that
from
was
you?
all. That was all
it?
the feedback. I did a silly little whiteboard thing that seemed to get a few thousand views out of nowhere.
Yeah.
People telling me that I could have got around it in different ways. But look, we had a good week.
We did, yeah. For those of you who aren't checking out stuff that's popping up on YouTube, the little shorts that Matt's doing, some of them are popping up as reels on Instagram, but they're getting a good bit of loving over on YouTube. If you want to subscribe to us over there and have a look
YouTube
at
shorts.
what our social media guru is clipping together every week. I take zero credit for any of that.
Been a bit slack this week because we've both had an extremely busy weekend.
We have. I've got one more bit of feedback
Oh.
before we move on. Sorry,
Okay.
I forgot. It's
Is it
right
all
in
about
front of
you,
me.
or is it something
It's
I
not
did
at all.
wrong?
It's actually some really positive feedback for you. A couple of people really loved Quiz of the Week and direct messaged me. We've got Skippy Lynn and Skippy Wayne over in Seattle. Very old friends of the pod.
Lurvies.
Yep, very good people who've taken care of us, me several times on trips over to America, but also Matt and the rest of our band when we were over there. They loved playing along for Quiz of the Week, and Mama Lynn was just a little bit concerned about your Bell's palsy, so she's
Right.
just, sending good vibes there for that.
I'll just smile to the camera. You can see half my face. I'm all good, Lynn. If anyone does know how I can, that's an honest thing. I'm not too worried about it, but if there is something in the natural or cosmetic or whatever world that can somehow fix a droop,
Can restore the smile.
I was having, just off topic again very quickly, having
Yeah.
a conversation with someone at work today and just started drooling down this side. And they were like, mate, you just need to, I'm like, yeah, that's just my Bell's palsy.
No, you
it
couldn't
does.
feel it.
No, I just get drool down this side if I.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, it's a.
Have not
I'm
seen
just
that
used to
happen
it.
yet. Yeah, that's brutal. That is brutal.
Well, thank you, Lynn and Wayne, for your
Yeah,
feedback.
and then I've already mentioned my sister Annie. She basically live messaged me when she was listening to the last episode. Lots of things that she appreciated.
I
Very
reckon
much
she would
enjoying
have
the
got
pod.
Quite a few points in that album thing, I reckon.
She said, yeah, well, her feedback was that I was about to give you was more quizzes, please.
Okay,
That was
next
the
week,
feedback.
I'll
Yep.
write a note now.
Yep, both loved the quizzes. And also just to note that Annie has put herself down along with non-Skippy Scott as another conscientious objector. She does not want to be referred to as a Skippy. So got a couple of objectors. She said you can give my feedback as long as you don't call me Skippy Annie. So kind of just did do.
Oh, we can get away with just calling it Annie.
Annie. We can. So that's feedback. That's
Feedback.
corrections.
Good.
Semi-apologies. How have
Mostly
you been?
positive.
What have you been doing? Who's going first? What's happening?
Look, I'll jump in. I had an extremely, us Queenslanders don't like the cold. And so what do? I jumped on a plane. I had a 40, or probably in the end it was about 53, let's not get technical, 48-hour trip, great content, down to Melbourne, kid-free, with my lovely wife, to see my sister-in-law who is pregnant. She had a baby shower on Sunday, so Got up at the crack of dawn on Saturday and flew down on a very early flight to Melbourne. Got off the plane and went, ooh, that is...
She's fresh.
Oh, that cuts right through the little... This. I was wearing this. Cuts right through. That's not going to cut it. But yeah, had a great weekend preparing on Saturday. I had a little outing with my father-in-law and, well, future brother-in-law. It was his first ever, being in Melbourne, he's a massive AFL fan. He's a Saints supporter and just all his life known nothing but AFL. Went to his first ever rugby match on
What a match to go
Saturday
to.
night. Wallabies versus Wales at Amy Park. Good, we won. And look, a win is a win. It's a new Wallabies team, a new coach. Of course, you can always do better. And if I was to be brutally honest, and I said on the night when we were walking out, if we played like an All Black side tonight, we would have got absolutely thumped. So we just played better than Wales. Both teams were a bit sloppy. But look, a win is a win. They've got to start somewhere. And that's 2 in a row. And they played Georgia this Saturday night in Sydney, rugby chat. But he enjoyed it. Few questions on understanding the rules. I think his biggest shock was, I guess, with AFL. It's just a lot more agile and just that, it's a different fitness. Like going from running 12 kilometres in a game to just being absolutely snapped. Like you just hear the thuds of the...
Gross.
Yeah. So yeah, it was good. Enjoyed. Caught up with another good family friend at the game as well. And then on Sunday, had the baby shower. Caught up with a bunch of family and friends there as well. My sister-in-law is in her final. She's over 35 weeks now, so she's due 17th of August.
So baby Katie will be here
baby
before
Katie,
long.
you get running that with her as well, are we?
Do we know? Do we know?
No,
if we're
they're
a boy
keeping
or a
it.
girl?
They're keeping it a surprise.
Do they know?
No, they're
Oh, they
keeping
don't know.
it a surprise
So it's
as
not
well.
just a surprise
No,
from
they're
us.
just calling it Baby Parton. And part of it was we had to fill out a little form, that you do where you guess, what it's going to be. And but they asked for, if you think it's a boy, they were after some boy suggestions. I think they've got a girl name locked away,
Katie, obviously.
but they're struggling with boy name. We can put Katie forward as well.
I'm not putting it forward. It's locked in.
So yeah, so my prediction, if anyone, they're not, but if anyone's interested, my prediction was it's going to be a boy. I put down just the first boy name that came to my head was Jack or Jackson. So I put that down. Don't know why.
Jackson with an X.
No.
Okay, just clarifying. Just clarifying.
No, definitely not Jackson with an X.
No.
No. I'm not an animal.
Jaxon. Jackson. No.
No, JACQU.
CQ.
So yes, that was my thing. I reckon it's going to be boy, Jackson, and we'll find out. Time will tell. They're off to a wedding. She's bridesmaid up in a little town outside of Sydney. They're driving. They're doing a road trip on Thursday. So there was lots of jokes about making sure they've got the maternity bag in the car just in case there's a highway delivery. Hope not.
What do they call it? I was going to call it the rush bag, but that's not what it is.
Is it not a maternity bag? Hospital bag?
No, it's something like you're in a hurry bag. Or that's definitely not that. It's definitely not that.
I feel I've had 3 kids. I have no idea.
I thought it was called like I don't know. Gosh, why would I even have an opinion on this?
This is really good content. Loosely based on music, this podcast. So yes, I was in Melbourne. One last thing that I will share is while it was a really fun night, I didn't underestimate the weather in Melbourne from a cold point of view because I took down a really thick coat that I only wear up here once a year. But it is not in any way, shape or form water resistant or proof. And we got off the train at Jolimont Station and had to walk down past the MCG across the Rod Laver Arena Bridge. I've made that name up. Past Rod Laver Arena to Amy Park.
He's already got an arena. I don't think he gets a bridge as well, does he?
And I don't know, somehow he needs a name tag when he walks into Rod Laver Arena. I'm like, the guy, why does he need an all access, all areas? Anyway, and as soon as we got off the station, poured down with rain, no umbrellas. My father-in-law and brother-in-law were there in their big, because they're smart, in their big coats that are water resistant, everything. They're fine. They get into their waterproof shoes. I was in cons, jeans, just a jacket that became wringing wet. And I sat in Amy Park just
Just for
Go to
easy.
Wallabies. Yay, rugby.
I'm having the best night of my life.
Yes, get me another beer. That will help warm me up. So yes, I made amends, and knowing that I've got a few more rugby trips, I'm going to Melbourne a little bit later this year again, just in case. I have now purchased myself, must be nice, a proper coat that is water resistant.
Beautiful.
So yes, that was my trip. That was my week.
Great outcome.
How about you?
Fantastic. As I mentioned last week on the pod, headed up the range to Toowoomba on Thursday night last week and saw the opening night of Em Rusciano's national tour, touring her new one-woman show called Outgrown, and it was absolutely spectacular.
Lots of floral things on the stage?
There was, yeah. The set design was really cool. Lots of ginormous fake flowers. And the whole night was just a spew of colour and laughter and joy, mixed in with like the sadder side of the coin. So really looking at a lot of the show, well, the whole show really is based on her adult diagnosis of autism and ADHD, and just what that's meant for their family and for her herself. And yeah, it was just absolutely brilliant. It's everything I want in a show. There was a lot of improvised comedy, as well as it just being a perfectly crafted, hour and a bit of work, which blew out to hour 45 once she did all of her other bits and bobs in there. One of an incredibly underrated vocalist, I would say. She's got killer pipes, really, really great voice.
Is she in the top three vocalists?
She's right up there for me, Matt.
Yeah, okay, cool.
She often jokes about the fact that, her biggest claim to fame was coming 7th in the first season of Australian Idol. So really nowhere even on the radar in that season. But yeah, incredible pipes, great singer, great comedian, great storyteller with a great story to tell. And so, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. Certainly gave me a little bit of a kick up the behind to get some stuff happening with my show. I did look at my flute about a month ago now, and so there's some work to do there. But in addition to that, on the weekend, I did something else a bit culture-y.
One sec.
Oh, yes.
Are you going to give it a rating out of 10?
In the genre of one-woman show, stand-up comedy,
Which how many have
cabaret,
you seen? About 4.
couple of here and there. I'm going to give it a 9.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 9. It was short of perfect, but it was bloody close.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very good.
Was it because she didn't have a one-woman show with a man like you're going to have?
Yeah. It's funny you should say that. So she had a band with her. She had her dad, Vincey, on guitar. She had another lead guitarist, a guy on piano. I should have learned these people's names and I didn't, and an incredible male backing vocalist. But there was a lot of, the drums were on track, and the musicians and the music itself, I wasn't entirely happy with where they sat in the mix. That was probably my one thing that just a few times I was like, oh, I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Not quite sure how that sat. But great musicians, like really good music, but I just wasn't, it just didn't quite sit for me a few times. But such a good show.
Okay, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
Back to where I cut you off.
That's okay. I forgot that I'm meant to rate every single thing in my life, and I think, have I given anything less than a 9 yet?
We're just keeping the stats here. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm easy to please, Wallace. The other thing I did on Saturday night, I went to a really cute's probably not the right word, great little exhibition at a little local gallery here in Brisbane up at Red Hill, the Red Hill Gallery, creatively named. And it was...
thought process went into naming that.
And, yeah, they really had a board meeting and settled on that.
Like naming the orange.
And so it was 3. I wish I really haven't prepared what I was going to say about this little section, because I can only remember the name of one of the artists. It's Emma Sheldrake, and it's because we had been to her exhibition the year before. I went with my friend Nicole, and I had loved this artist's work the year before, and it again, just absolutely blew me away. So if you're a person who likes art, hit her up on, she's on all the things, Emma Sheldrake, and her latest little exhibition is really, really stunning stuff. Most of them had sold by the time we went there. And if
what type of pricing are we talking here? Hundreds, thousands?
$3,000 each they were, and they were about like a metre square probably, the size. So big pieces. If I didn't live in a tiny house, I could very easily have been tempted. I really, really loved them, but I'm possibly not the sort of person that buys art. I don't know. Maybe I will be one day. But yeah, it was a beautiful night. It was just a wonderful little thing to do. Just a local, tiny little gallery, but yeah, a beautiful exhibition.
Lovely.
So that was my weekend. Any Alta Falls news from you?
Yeah, so big thing through the week is due to just the amazing growth we've seen on Instagram with people jumping on behind some marketing that we've been doing is we're now in a position where we've now booked a date and we're heading to Perth. Nothing officially announced yet, but it's officially booked in. And yeah, Saturday the 15th of Feb, we're heading to Perth.
Amazing.
So people can have their lovey-dovey Valentine's dinner and then as a double date the next night, come and see a band in Perth.
Absolutely.
So
what
yes.
else would you want to do with your love?
We're going to get some early pre-sale tickets on sale in the next couple of weeks and start pushing it like the other gigs that we have.
Yep.
And yeah, everything's going really well. So yeah, and start to look at hopefully some really cheap flights to get there and back. But yeah, all the band are free and available, and
which means the pressure's on for the roadie, I guess, to really perform this year and just see
cement a spot.
Yeah, see if I galvanise my way
I've
into
never been to the
inner
West,
circle.
so it's going to be good. I need to make sure that when I was talking about sort of family commitments, how many nights I'm away, I said, look, ideally there's an extra night just so that the day after the gig I've got, ideally a full day to at least go and see something in Perth.
Yeah.
See a bridge and
I've not seen the West either.
Get down to Fremantle and get out to the beach and things like that.
Yeah.
So
I reckon I've flown through Perth probably half a dozen times living in
never come close.
in Zambia. Yeah, I've been through that airport a number of times, but
I think the closest I would have come to Perth would be the plane that kind of went down under Australia when I went to Johannesburg. It's probably went to Johannesburg. Must be nice. But yes, so really exciting on the front.
Super exciting. That is really exciting.
Yes. Now, one other thing we wanted to discuss tonight was we realised that we saw a post last week done on a venue in Brisbane that recently closed called the Zoo. And it has been around for 30 years.
I don't know that stat.
About 30 years.
I thought it could have even been longer, but we might have to fact check that.
There might be a few in there. But give or take, 30 years it's been around, and it had its final gig a week and a half ago. And they were very, very generous, and they mentioned Skip the Beat. We put a post up a couple of weeks ago, and we were there to see George. And they shared a bunch of photos from the final month of gigs, and we made the cut. And it just got us thinking, you and I have both been to the Zoo many times over our life since we've turned 18. And there have been some phenomenal gigs. So real quick, your top, 2, 3 gigs? We're going to share one, and I know what that's going to be. Yeah,
so I've got a top 2. I think you might have been to more gigs at the Zoo than I have, although I suspect I've been to a bunch in that sort of 18 to early 20s that I just don't remember anymore because I don't have a very good memory. But my favourite show I ever went to at the Zoo, and I guess before we share these, it's worth noting that when we talked about the Zoo a few weeks ago after we saw George there, we were a bit like, no, it won't shut. Somehow it'll get saved. But yeah, it's like the post on all the socials was that it was done at least for the minute. So yeah, it did get us thinking about all the times we've been there and shows we've enjoyed. So my number one, I don't know if it's your number one, but I'm sure it's up there for you. Was
because it's my first time at the Zoo as well.
Yeah, it's the only time this artist has been to Australia in my memory.
And if she came back now, she would play.
She'd be in an arena for sure. Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah. So it was a long, long time ago, and it was Brandi Carlile, who is an incredible I don't know. It's bluegrass, it's folk, it's rock, it's pop. I don't know what it
so
is.
many
Yeah, just the most incredible artist out of sort of the Seattle area, I guess, was where she comes from. And she got her. I had owned her album, and I don't know how I came across it, but
It would have been Grey's Anatomy.
I owned it before that, though. I owned
Okay.
it before the big single. Yeah, so her big breakthrough hit was the story on Grey's Anatomy. And that had sort of happened, but she didn't get really big in Australia at that time. And so she came, and Jen actually had free tickets, did she? Or something.
I actually can't remember. We'll have to ask her.
It was on my radar
I
to
know
go.
that she was
and
there.
Jen,
It was one of the latest nights she's ever had.
Yeah, Jen was there, and our friend Joy was there
Yes.
as well. And yeah, my favourite thing about that gig, I just remember that they just all unplugged instruments and sat on the front of the stage and just sang just with nothing. And we were
the
just
twins.
from-
She has twin
with the
brothers
twins.
that she tours with, and
Yeah.
they just know they're just everything's just in the pocket.
The harmonies, the
It's
three-part
amazing.
harmony is
Yeah, so that
tight
was-
as tight can be.
And that was when I first I had only known of Brandy Carlisle maybe a handful of weeks before the gig.
Yeah, right.
So I'd
Yeah.
only had time to listen. I think we went out, either Jen or myself bought the album.
Right, yeah.
And so I'd only had that much time to familiarise myself with,
Yeah.
I guess, just that album.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a phenomenal gig. We were sitting on the floor.
We were right up the front.
It wasn't packed.
It wasn't sold out. Like
So the
you
zoo
can't
is about
even.
a 500 capacity venue when
Yeah.
everyone's standing and crammed in.
Yeah.
So, look, again, it's so far back in the memory, but there probably was 250 people there. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't anywhere close to sold out. Still a nice full room, but, yeah, you could definitely have your space to...
Breathe. And she's a Grammy award-winning artist now.
Oh, she's
and
played with every other artist under the sun.
Yeah, she's like Elton John wants to work with her all the time.
Yeah, he played...
She's
bloody sang in his... When he did that stream of his final... the
Yeah.
final ever American show.
Yeah.
Like, just no worries.
yeah, and she also is sort of one of the people that's mostly responsible for the resurgence of Joni Mitchell coming back into the music scene, and yeah, it just she's incredible. I love her so much. She's right up there for me, Matt.
She's up there.
Brandy
She's one of the
Carlisle's
top,
right up
one
there.
of the best vocalists. She's sitting up there with Celine
she's right
and
up there.
Missy and Mariah
So,
and just all of them. Barbs.
So if you're into all that sort of music, so Brandy Carlisle's my number one from the zoo, and my number two was when I saw Frente there. It was such a great gig.
Did you plan that or was it accidentally?
Speaking of, they didn't do that song.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
weird that they don't. That's like wasn't Anna saying she went to see John Mayer and he didn't play Daughters?
Yeah, he didn't play. He rarely plays Daughter. Yeah,
And that's just like what was at the time.
that was his
one
Grammy.
of his biggest songs.
It was Song of the Year at the Grammys.
It's like
I
let's go
think,
see
that
John
song.
Farnham. Doesn't play the voice.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's go see Elton John. He doesn't do your song.
yeah.
Billy
Yeah, I
Joel,
think
Piano Man.
Frente.
I can keep going. What are other artists with bigger songs?
I think they really identify that song as a song that sort of ruined their vibe as a band because
okay.
it just was so popular. We're talking about Accidentally Kelly Street for
Yes.
those who didn't get Matt's
We're back on that.
pun.
Oh, that would just
I mean, whatever it was. Yeah, they didn't do that song, and I was devoed because they did pretty much everything else from that album, and yeah, but not that song.
everyone would have been waiting for it in an encore.
Yeah, Pete, there was a bit of tension in the room. I'm not going to lie, but good on them for sticking to their guns.
You
Like,
haven't seen any other like Friends bands or anything there at the zoo? It's just not doesn't get in
that's
there.
my third favourite. The time I saw you play there, that was
think
early days.
It was about I think it's 2014. I think it
yeah.
was about 130 people maybe.
Was that pre-Alta Falls?
Yeah, that was an old band.
Yeah, I do recall that gig. It was good. Very
yeah, we
good.
shared a stage with another artist.
Yeah.
So look, I had a couple. I'm just going to rattle them off. Brandy was definitely my number one. That was amazing.
Yeah, my number one by far. That's in my top 5 gigs of all time. That Brandy Carlisle show at the
yeah,
zoo.
it's really good.
Yeah.
I've seen The Living End there, and that was one where they played their, oh my gosh, Brain Fog. The album that has like, oh, torn down, their big album.
Yeah, I don't know what it's
Oh.
called. Sorry. It's okay.
Sorry, folks. Brain fart. They played an album, one of their biggest albums, all the way through from beginning to end, kind of like what
Yep.
George did.
Yep.
And it was phenomenal.
Yep.
It was, again, in the middle of summer. It was one of the hottest nights
9,000 degrees.
in Brisbane.
Yep.
So Living End was up there for me. I saw The Church there. I've seen Holy Holy, who are one of my favourite bands there. And, of course, George is up there, I think. Just the feeling you got of, this is something. Like, this is the last hurrah here. Like, I'm one of the last people to be in this venue for now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a special gig, actually.
Great. My goodness. I can't believe, sorry, this is changing the topic. Big news. We were talking about other big news when you walked in tonight. Only read probably an hour before you got here. Very sad day for the music industry. Willie Nelson died today.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, he died.
I had not seen that.
Yeah, he was playing on the road again. And that was a very early.
Is that a pun of the week or just a flat out lie?
That is the pun of the week. I had to drop it in. It came. Thank you, Mua, for your suggestion. She got me a beauty with it. She just messaged me out of the blue saying Willie Nelson died. I was thinking, what? And then that happened. She's like, now, my suggestion is drop that in as music pun of the week. No, actually, I said I have to use that as pun of the week. And she said, yep, you've got permission to use it. Just don't tell Kate, don't do it before music pun of the week. Just drop it in and see what Katie's reaction is. So.
I was really sad. I don't actually know what to think about what just happened there.
He's alive and well. Unless we...
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
So you just the whiteboard's just a lie tonight, is it?
No, because we're up to that.
You just... Damn it! I got so got.
Thank you, Mua.
Oh, goodness me. Okay.
All right, so I'm looking
feel-
forward to the reviews of that one.
I just need to recalibrate after
a little
that.
bit shaken.
I am.
Do you need a moment?
I thought he was pretty well preserved. I don't think Willie Nelson's ever going to die.
No, he's like, what's those memes that come around where it's like, like you see like Stonehenge and it's like the place where Keith Richards was born.
Yes. Yes.
Like, and Easter, so they Photoshop him at Easter Island. It's like Keith Richard hanging out with his folks.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I put Willie in that same category. He's very well preserved.
Look, I'm very, very happy with how that.
You are just outrageously happy with yourself right now. Just
So I needed to wait for the right time.
okay, mate. Whatever. Do you want to hit something on that pad or?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, hit it.
This. From the pouch.
I'm bringing something from the pouch tonight, and it's not. I mean, it might get a bit humorous, but it's just a memory. It's just something I'm ripping out of the pouch that I thought might be an interesting thing for us to talk about for 2 or 3 minutes, and that is our very first gig that we ever played at the Tongue and Groove Bar.
Tongue and Groove Bar
At West End. So the very first gig that Matt and I...
And it is exactly what you think. The Tongue and Groove Bar. That was the...
What do you mean?
Well, before it became like a gig venue, it was like not like a strip club, not a brothel, but it was like a...
was it?
Very adult entertainment themed venue.
Yeah,
yes, where
there
it
you
got
go.
its name, the Tongue and Groove.
Yeah, right. I was just thinking of carpentry. I don't know where your brain was going.
I was being accurate.
Yeah, yeah, true. So little bar sort of restaurant upstairs, and then there's the downstairs where there's just a really little stage, tiny little venue. And Matt and I had been there. We just used to try every Friday. We'd either be like, we're going to go shopping in the city, or we're going to just randomly see what music's happening. And we just did it all the time. We would just go on a weekend with whoever else wanted to come, what's on. And we discovered one of our favourite Australian singers at that bar, an amazing
Very
singer.
underrated singer.
Yeah, amazing singer called Anna Weatherup, who, check out her music as well. She's absolutely phenomenal. And she was just sitting there with her acoustic guitar, little stompy box. And just we had the best time there, and we saw a few other things there, I think, from memory. And so when we started a band, man, you'd have to tell me what year this was. It's going back a little way.
It was 2000.
It's a good from the pouch. I don't even know the year.
It was 2007.
2007. That's a decent amount of time ago. So yeah, from the pouch, I just remember it was our first ever gig with our band called Something Sideways. We got little badges made up, and I don't know that the Tongue and Groove has ever been as packed as it was that night. We had a whole lot of people come to see us play that show because we've got big families and lots of friends.
We imported one of your friends at the time, which became one of my friends, Joy. It was her first time to Australia.
Yeah, so my friend Joy
was it her first time?
Not her first time ever in Australia, no.
But she was here. That was the start of her first holiday visa. Wasn't
it? She was here for a while. So she had come over sort of basically to be in that band, really, to come to a
Australia.
Working holiday.
You were sick as a dog. We had a gig in 3 days' time.
I mean, it's my From the Pouch, but you feel free to tell the story.
You're back to you. I don't want to take your podcast.
That's exactly what I had on my list. I think I had conjunctivitis in every orifice of my body that the morning of that gig, could barely sing. Joy had flown in, it was within days, wasn't it? And had to learn our entire set of music because we'd written all new songs. We had a cellist, if you recall.
I just want to can I add one thing to that when Joy just got in?
Yeah.
It was, so the only person she knew was you.
Yeah.
Get in a car, get in a white station wagon. No, it would have been the Lanos at that point.
Probably was the Lanos.
Get in a Lanos with 3 other men you don't ever know.
Yep.
Just I can imagine just being like, Katie?
Yeah.
Katie. And I think I won the friendship over with Joy very quickly because I'm pretty sure the first stop we had was to get an Australian cheeseburger.
I was going to say a Macca's run for sure.
And I would have shouted her, being like, hey, no. Yeah. But yeah, she learned.
Must be nice. Shouting a cheeseburger. Hey, big spender.
I was working there at the time. I probably got it free.
Staff discount.
I was a manager. Must be nice. But yeah, I just remember her, we printed out because she was just writing all her notes. And we're like, you got 3 days.
Yeah.
So back to you. You
and she
had
nailed
a cellist.
It. And then we had a cellist. And my biggest memory of the night, the biggest thing I'll draw from the pouch is number one,
Joy.
the cellist, who shortly after that gig we had to break up with. Wonderful musician, but we just realised we're a pop band and we probably don't need a cellist to be, because having the cellist in the band meant that there was just no room for anyone else to stand on the stage.
Wasn't he sitting out
Yeah, he didn't fit on the stage. Joy didn't fit on the stage either, so Joy stood behind a giant concrete pylon for the whole show, which she loved. She's
we could see because we were on the stage.
I think you and Jamie, our drummer, and me fit on the stage.
No, you were on the ground.
Was I on the ground too?
I was on the little. It was almost like Rick's Bar.
Yeah,
have you ever been to Rick's Bar?
Yeah.
I guess
it was just a tiny little corner stage, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was such a fun gig. I don't know how I got through it. My singing was horrible, but I wish we had some footage of that night.
I had
it was super fun.
A funny memory that you just regret looking back. You know when you look back on your younger self and go, fuck were you thinking? Who even are you? I've got some photos that I've seen where I'm wearing a hat, but like a fedora. And I'm like, what are you even doing?
At that gig?
Yes.
I was wearing stilettos from memory too. I think we put in a whole lot of effort, not realising that we really should have just worn jeans and t-shirts.
It was just a first gig and we were acting like we were playing Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, we were. We were pretty excited. Oh. Yeah, I had full hair and makeup and was wearing a frock.
I think I took that day off work.
Probably, yeah.
Didn't have to leave for the venue till 6.
Yeah. Work was a very low priority for us in those days. Yeah. So
well done.
From the pouch.
That's a great memory. Our very, very first gig.
Our very first gig.
Something Sideways.
And it was super successful. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was good fun.
One of my favorite memories. So yeah.
Was Nana Morris there?
I don't recall.
Think she was.
I don't recall Nana Morris on a bar stool.
There'll be some more From the Pouches with old Nana Morris stories.
The other amazing thing about that gig was how we got paid. Our pay was a cut of the bar from memory.
Yes, it was.
It was free to get in, wasn't it? And they just paid us a cut of the bar, which we had so many people there, but they mustn't have been drinking because I think we only made about $30 or something that night. So
good one. Well done.
Yeah, From the Pouch.
From the pouch.
Ouch. And we're close to wrapping up. I'm going to dive
Katie
in.
show again.
Yeah, I'm going to dive in here to finish us off. Well, it's your show now. I'm just throwing a few things at you. I'm going to finish off this week's episode with a quick round of this or that with Matthew. And I've just got a few random things. I've just been wondering about you, just a bit of things I'd like to know.
I know what's going to happen here. You've gone away after me apparently attacking you with all these different, like picking the two worst things that you hate and getting you to decide. I just have a feeling there's going to be like...
I don't think I've put as much effort into mine as you did. It's like most of them are pretty... I'm just keeping it true to the segment is.
I'm waiting for like a receding hairline at the front or at the back.
No.
Oh, both.
Why not both? I think I'm here for you to enjoy yourself, Matt.
Okay,
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable like you did to me.
I'm all half smile.
Okay. Coming up to August, something very exciting. One of our favourite events of the calendar's coming up. So in your first this or that, Dagwood dog or strawberry ice cream?
Oh, no. No. Is it the foot-long Dagwood dog?
Always.
Is it a double?
My first this or that was actually going to be one Dagwood dog or 5 Dagwood dogs. No, Dagwood dog or strawberry ice cream.
Oh, look, I can get a Dagwood dog anywhere else. I can't get the strawberry sundae, so it's got to be the strawberry sundae.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Excellent. I'm a vegetarian and I think I'd say the Dagwood dog still. London or New York?
Oh, Katie.
Oh,
what
gosh,
she's done
I didn't
here
think...
is she's picked my 2 favourite cities that I've been to.
What? This isn't even meant to be hard. I was just
New York.
An interesting...
New York City.
New York for me. I think for me, Broadway beats out the West End. Mm-hmm. It's all about musical theatre.
Is that because when you came to West End with us, we picked Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor
Yeah, we
Dreamcoats
saw one of the worst shows we've
over
ever
Billy
seen.
Elliot, and it's another one of my biggest regrets.
Yeah, it was a really weird choice because we'd all seen Joseph before as well, hadn't we?
Let's do that again. And they literally did it again. Okay. Yep.
Anyway, P.S. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat is a wonderful musical, but we saw a particularly bad performance of it. Changing direction completely. Mowing or whippersnippering?
Mowing.
Mowing, absolutely. Whippersnippering's the worst. Yeah. I thought of that one because I mowed my yard yesterday and I got to the whipper and I just did a bog-up job because I hate that part of it.
I've got a great photo of you with a whipper. We might share that.
Do you?
The day you bought it, we went for a Bunnings trip.
The day I bought my little Ryobi
standing
whipper.
up here we bought it back here and put it together. I've got a great photo.
The things I've made you help me do. Build my whippersnipper. Gosh. And have zero memory of.
Again, jumping off topic just very quickly, my other memory of that was we were standing in Bunnings and you're like looking at the cheapest one going, I've got to put these like half-meter long things.
It wasn't my Ryobi, it was the original. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've got to, like, it'll last like
3 minutes.
Yeah. And then I've got to put another one in. I can get that for $69, or for $99 I can get one where it's a coil. Look, I'll be fine. I've only got a small. Like, let me just get that. I'm like, Katie, I reckon you'll be fine. You'll be better just getting the one with the coil in it. Trust me. No. It'll be fine. I've got a really small block. And then you messaging me after the first going, this is giving me the shits. I'm out of the coils. I need to cut more.
I was mid-mow cutting off 5 new bits of length for my whippersnipper. Oh gosh.
Anyway.
I've since gone battery, so I've now got battery.
I'll find that photo. We'll share it.
Hilarious. My next this or that. Kirsty or Jade?
Oh, come on. Kirsty every day of the week.
Kirsty every day of the week. We'll just leave that there.
Do we need to give context to that? The sisters from Home and Away.
The twin sisters on Home and Away.
Yes.
Matt always said...
There will be a poll for anyone in Australia who watched Home and Away. Were they Sutherland?
I don't-
Was it Kirsty Sutherland?
It was. It
yeah.
was.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's come from somewhere dark.
Every day of the week.
Yeah.
Every
I don't
day
want
of
to.
the
I don't want to put up a poll rating two women, but the context around
Let's
this.
not do a poll.
No, let's not do a poll. The context around this is that Matt always insisted that Kirsty was the better looking one, and I always insisted Jade was the better looking one. So, and I maintain that Matthew was wrong. I'm just going to leave it sit there. When you're exercising, ankle socks or long socks?
Oh, ankle socks.
I know. It's just I threw that one in there because that means we're old. It's just really uncool to wear ankle socks now, and so I've just
In
thought
what
we
way?
might. You just meant to wear long socks again. That's just what the fashion is at the gym. We're really old to still be wearing ankle socks. I still wear them too, but it was more my way of letting you know we might need to rethink that.
Okay.
Both of us. It's not just you.
God.
It's not just you. It's what the young kids are saying. They're not into them.
It's flared jeans are coming back too.
Yeah, I
apparently.
got a pair of boot cut just the other week. Yeah. Harmony or lead vocal?
Harmony.
100%. 3/4 or 4/4?
4/4.
Same. Major or minor key?
Oh, major. Major with a good couple of minors in it.
Okay. Yep. A few little surprise minors. Nice. In rugby league, your favourite kind of pass, a cutout pass or a flick pass?
Or the flick's good.
Trick question. Every pass is a forward pass in rugby league.
Forward.
And our final this or that, I'm going to ask you a question about your sleeping preference. If you had to choose between the smoky...
Shit.
If you had to choose between sleeping in the smoky man's house or a tent...
Oh, pipe
You
smoker of 09.
Pipe smoker man's... You're choosing between pipe smoker man's house or a tent on a 45-degree night with no fan and no natural breeze. Which would you choose?
Okay, so I need to give some context. So when we did our American tour in 09, which have we done it from the pouch on that? Well, I think we have. Oh yeah, not buying new jeans and all that.
Yeah.
So Toby and I, he was our drummer, good friend of ours, love Tobes. Him and I stayed at someone put us up at this person's house. Lovely people, but he was, do you call it a chain pipe smoker?
Yeah, an indoor chain pipe smoker.
In winter, no windows open,
Yeah.
just consistently on a pipe.
Yeah.
Like you open the front door and like there's just a haze. And it was an old house. I couldn't work out how to open windows.
Toby broke a window, didn't he, trying
No,
to open
I
one?
did.
Oh, you broke it?
Yeah, and then I fixed it.
Yeah.
Just letting out that I did some construction work and fixed it.
Okay, we understand that's not true, but anyway.
It's on video. That's what I'm saying.
It is on video, true. That's the only way anyone was going to believe it.
Toby, grab the camera, quick. He's there with that big thing on his shoulder like video cameras were back then.
Yes.
And it was, I can't remember. Look, we could have only been one. No, it was more than one night because we had that day where we went into, because it was in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. It was in New Jersey.
I was like, jumped at the chance to go to New York City for the day. One, because I love it. It's my favourite city, as we know. And two, I needed to get out of the house. So, yeah, it was just, I could not sleep. It was just, when you get a sore throat or it's just, it was woeful. Or what was the other one? In a tent.
You're in a tent, it's 45 degrees, no
At
fan.
night.
Yeah, 45 degrees, no fan, no natural breeze. I'm just trying to replicate my Australia Day long weekend camping experience I had just in January this year.
45 degrees at night. That's ridiculous.
I mean, that's maybe a slight
But
exaggeration.
just you're saying very hot.
Stupidly hot.
Sticky.
Got to pick one, this or that.
Look, I'm going to have to pick... Oh, look, I'd have to pick the camping one only because I can't stand being locked inside. Like it's not just the smoke; it's the stuffiness. That's what
Not having the open window was the killer.
And then on top of that, so it has to be. I'd have to just embrace the heat.
Embrace the heat.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And that is this or that.
There you go.
Way to go.
Done.
That's
another thing we need to tally. Apparently, I say there you go all the time.
There you go.
There you go.
Ah.
There you go.
Okay.
Yuck.
Ooh.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of episode 9. Mm-hmm. 9 episodes. I can't believe we've been doing this for 9 weeks.
I can't either. I think I just burped right into my microphone.
We would love you to follow us on the social media social media channels. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Skip the Beat Podcast. You will find us on those. Skip the Beat Podcast as well on YouTube, where you can subscribe. We would love you to do that. It's where you get to, if you are someone who normally listens to us, I'd love you to just change for a week, watch us. We video this. There's a little camera up there, and you can actually see my Bell's palsy and when I was smiling and just all of those little things. We'd love you to like us on those channels, subscribe to us on YouTube, and whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, whether that be Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It's like a little bubble.
Could be a little bit something going on there, buddy. Do you want me to finish for you?
Yeah, go.
Whatever podcast listening app you use, if you would subscribe to us, give us a 5-star rating. It helps us to know that people are listening, and it helps other people to find us as well.
We've got a great little base of people listening to us regularly, and we thank you so much for that. And we'd love for that base to just get a little bit bigger week after week. So, if you wouldn't mind just sharing us out on the channels as well, that'd be good. If you've got questions or jokes, feel free to DM us, just like Muir. She got that pun of the week today. And, I'm looking forward to...
Yeah, I'm terrified of pun of the week now that I know I could be hijacked.
It just could be anywhere.
Yeah, it could just be lurking behind every story. I'm a bit terrified.
I do give credit where credit's due. I am thankful that she said you have to do it without announcing that it's music pun of the week, because otherwise it just would have had nowhere near the same effect.
Yeah.
So I think when it's something like that, maybe it's just going to be a little drop in the ocean. You never know where it's going to come from.
Just keep me terrified. That's fine.
But thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you for the big 10.
Oh, wow. 10th birthday.
10th in a row.
Double digits.
Do we need to do something special?
We might have to.
Okay.
I might wear a frock.
Okay.
You should too.
I might wear some chinos and a button-up shirt.
Oh, lovely.
All right, guys. Thank you, everyone. See you next week.
Ciao.